Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight on The Standoff, episode 33, season 6. We're here live on Wednesdays on Facebook and YouTube throughout the season. Evening, Richie. Well, the NRL season's officially over after a pretty entertaining grand final, with perhaps one of the best individual efforts we've witnessed in some time. How
I'm going to assume you're asking me how I am, Brad. We're having a bit of internet issues. I'm doing well. Not the result I would have wanted in the grand final, but yeah, it was a great game though, and I enjoyed grand final day as a whole. Thought it was a good day. When your internet comes back, how are you? We'll wait for your internet to come back. So I guess I do Brad's bit. So, yeah, he did it. Hey, Simon's here. Good evening, Brody. I'm disappointed the toilet drinkers won, mate. I flog them continuously on the show, and I'm genuine about that. But they did well. They did well, and their fan base is probably the most rabid fan base there is. So they're going to be stoked. They avoided a 20-year drought. So yeah. Remember to send us comments and questions throughout the show, guys. I will start the news, the top stories for the week without Brad, and he can just chime in if and when. There's Paul.
Of course, I'll give you my depth and insight coming
Paul
off the
is
bench
back in the
Super Sub. So go on, let's hit you with news.
It's great to have Paul around, guys. So fantastic he can join me. The NRL have announced the 2025 Grand Final was the most watched television event of 2025 in Australia, and also broke the record as the highest viewed Grand Final of all time. 4.46 million Australians tuned in, and a 33% increase from last year. And it also reached 15% in NZ. Good numbers and a very good product to back it up. You didn't catch any of it by any chance, Paul?
No, I didn't. But yeah, like you say, good numbers for all of that kind of stuff. I guess in its battle with the AFL, let's be honest, that's kind of got to be part of got to be a win, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was as I said earlier, I thought it was a great day as a whole. From a Warriors point of view, I was just scanning. I don't know that Brad put it in his news, but the NZ Warriors, the Warriors New South Wales Cup side, they did the double. Not only winning the New South Wales Cup last week, they go on and win the state champs against the Queensland Cup winners on Grand Final day, which was great. They put 50 points on them too, which even better, very comprehensive. So from that point of view, I was stoked. And then the Broncos went on and did the double. The Broncos won the NRLW and the Grand Final. So I'm sure all the increase of people that watched it will have enjoyed it. And Simon, the guy that did the music before the match, was okay. He's no Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop Dogg did the AFL Grand Final. We had Teddy Swims. Did you enjoy Teddy Swims, Brad?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. Internet still seems to be playing up. Don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, I did. I thought he did all right. I was more interested in seeing that we actually saw it compared to last time where they usually just skip us and we don't see anything. But yeah, I thought it was entertaining enough.
And I don't know if I was scanning. I don't know if you threw it in the news. The New South Wales Cup team winning the state champs.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, I did. It was a good game. Very impressed with how dominant they were. Kind of expected it with the amount of experience they had in comparison to Burleigh, but you never know in the game of footy when something like that's going to work in their favour or not. But yeah, thoroughly entertained. And yeah, just exciting to see some of the young prospects in there doing well. Was asking for Jet Cleary a bit earlier than when he came on, and the game was basically already over.
Yeah, especially when it's
30 to
done and
go.
dusted. Yeah. No. Well, we only got up to the first story, mate, so you didn't miss too much. Next one on the list was the Titans being rumored to have reached out to Craig Bellamy
Reached
to
out to
join the
Craig
club.
Bellamy.
Yeah.
With my internet,
Wow.
it seems to have wiped all my notes too. But yeah, they've reached out to Titans, or the Titans reached out to him for a non-coaching role in 27. Be a great get, just for his inside knowledge on coaching and stuff in general, as like a football director, maybe. If that's all to say, if he doesn't stick around and is coaching Storm in 2027 still, we don't know. But he'd be a good get for any club in any capacity, really.
100%. I think maybe he would have considered if they went out grand final winners.
Potentially.
He might still have some hunger now.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to the rest of my news on that, so we'll just skip it. We've got a lot of stuff anyway. But my next news on the second page was the NRL have apparently had further talks with New Zealand government about state of origin, and it sounds like there is a big chance for an origin match to be played here in 2027.
Cool.
And yeah,
we've spoken about this. Yeah, we have. I mean, we would both go, wouldn't we? It's just a spectacle. It would be great to watch in our neck of the woods. It's just, why wouldn't you try and get to it? I'm sure the atmosphere would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm not here screaming for it, but I'm not going to say no if it is here. But it's not a be or end all for me. But it would be a great experience and a hell of a lot cheaper than flying Aussie for it.
Yep.
Next bit of news was Andrew Abdo's confirmed that the World Club Challenge will go ahead in 2026. I guess the perks of the champs not going to Vegas kind of helps out. So it'll be Brisbane versus either Wigan or it might be St. Helens again. I can't remember who's made the final. It's what happens when we don't cover it every week, Matt.
Yeah. Interesting to see if Broncos throw their top lineup at it.
But yeah, good to see that will come back. And then good night for Paul to come back. Peter V'landys was talking about the R360 competition, and he's warned players that if they sign with the competition, he may not allow them back into the NRL. Despite using these scare tactics, he also said he's not worried about the comp and said it's a competition that's come out of a cornflake box. I'm getting mixed messages from him. He's either doesn't give a shit about it, or he's actually worried about it with threatening players that they're not going to be allowed back. I don't see that happening. If, say, Reece Walsh, just pulling him out of the name because he's the talk of the town right now, if he decided I'm going to go for a year just to see what it's like, do you see Peter V'landys and the NRL saying, no, we don't want Reece Walsh back into the NRL? And I know the
perceptions.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the players talked up at the moment are ones that probably they're looking for one final, sugar hit of money before they wrap up their careers. It's not like there are a few young ones that are getting targeted apparently, but it's mostly the old guy like Roger. Roger's all but confirmed to be going when his Warriors contract's up. He's not coming back and having another 2-3 year contract on an NRL anyway at his age. So I don't know. I think a lot of those older ones are going to be the guinea pigs to see if this thing actually comes off the ground. I know, Paul, you can probably talk a bit about it too. The rugby unions have basically said that anyone that plays in the competition won't be eligible for their national sides, which is different to what we said last week, because 360 said that all their players would be eligible, but they don't have the final say.
No, they can say they'll be available, right? They won't stop them from playing. So they've probably said they're available, and then the other people's gone, well, straight away, if you want to play for England, you have to play in England, right? You're not allowed, even if you play in France, in a World Rugby sanctioned competition, you're not eligible. If you want to play for the All Blacks, you have to play in New Zealand. So the idea that that the All Blacks would select someone playing that competition, straight away would be a big no-no. It's just stupid. But one thing I got to say about the rugby union guys is look, they've been definite. So this is the situation. Whereas Volandis has gone, oh, you know what? It might be this, it might be that. I don't know. How can you make a plan and make a decision when it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, and someone is giving you a cold hard 1 million guaranteed or whatever the number is? I mean, he needs to just say this is a situation, yes or no, if he wants to stop people from going. By umming and ahhing, he's not providing any kind of deterrent.
Well, Volandis loves the if, buts, and maybes because that goes right into my next story from him. He's also stated the NRL are considering buying the Super League and taking over the administration of the English game, but he said we have nothing certain, but we'll certainly look at it. So it's exactly back to what Paul said. So ifs, buts, and maybes. It's like, yeah, we're going to buy it. We'll have a look, which is two contrasting statements. I
thought we were talking about this like 3 months ago.
Yeah, he gets more into the media as the season winds down, and I think you guys already talked about the big ratings, right?
Yeah, we did. Yep.
So he's running around. Yeah. And Simon said, yeah, the Super League's a waste of money because you have no control of the competition. Makes more sense to start your own competition in that part of the world. That would be more funny if they were like, we're going to make a competition in the UK, because then he's doing exactly what 360 are doing. And then the last bit of news before Dally ends, mate, international teams have started to roll out. I decided rather than flooding Paul with 1 million pictures, we'd talk about the international teams next week, which leads into our previewing of the international games anyway. So a lot of the teams have already been named, but we'll go over them in more detail next week. So we'll go to Dally M's, mate. So Dally M's happened after we finished. There was a lot of mixed reviews about it after the fact. Some of the media are saying they want to break it up so you have a Dally M night for men, Dally M night for women, because there's too many awards and they have to rush through everything. I didn't watch it anyway, so it was very late. And we kind of had one horse in the race, which I expected to win, and we got it. And as Jack has said, Dally boring. Yeah, I know Sean was in as a host, and I thought that might have livened things up a bit. But from what I saw, no, it was just the same old boring thing. 15 of the teams there, season's done. They're kind of over it, looking forward to having a little bit of a break before they have to go back to preseason. So a lot of them don't care too much. But the Dally M was James Tedesco. What's surprised me more was how close Luke Metcalf was still at the end. I think it was like round 23, he was still like in the top 4, and then he ended up 8th, despite being out for so long. But yeah, I think after Luke Metcalf went down, James Tedesco was really the only option, which we kind of saw. I think they even stopped announcing the 3-2-1s because he was already that far ahead. So yeah, I think for a guy that was there consistently every week, I think he deserved it. You got any takes on Teddy?
No, I think he was by far and away the favourite, wasn't he? He was in my books. He was very consistent this year, consistently really good.
Yeah, and then I'll rattle off the others. So the Proven Summons medal, which is the spirit of the game, went to Zach Lomax. Rookie of the year went to Robert Toya. Your thoughts on that? I've seen a lot of people getting upset. I honestly
think it could have gone either way between those two.
Yeah, I think it could have been Lecker. I would have liked it to be Lecker. Robert Toya, I know everyone keeps saying he made Origin. Origin shouldn't be in contention because not everyone can play it.
Definitely.
But he had a good season, yeah. And I think, the elephant in the room, the guy that would have won it was banned from having been a contender. So I think Marky Mark would have got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Robert, especially at the beginning of the year, did very well. Captain of the year went to James Tedesco. Any thoughts on that? You happy?
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to argue too much. I mean, he won the Dally M, but was pretty much playing a captain's knock every week.
Yeah.
Dragging a team that I thought might not contest finals, if you asked me at the start of the year.
Well, I know there were two people on the show that openly mocked another person on the show for thinking the Roosters would do okay because he put the wrong team in, but that was actually a genius move because they did all right.
Yeah.
It made us look like idiots. But yeah, I thought they did all right. Coach of the year went to Ricky Stewart, which I think was, a very easy pick there.
Yeah.
Kenu Vai medal went to Mark Nawaka Nitawase. Top point scorer went to Jermaine Osako. The Ken Stephen medal went to Kieran Foran. Try of the year went to Mark Nawaka Nitawase. And then tackle of the year went to Ethan Strange. So I think all of those were straight obvious ones. And then team of the year, we got James Tedesco at fullback, Mark and Xavier Coates on the wings. We got Katoni Staggs and Stephen Crichton in the centres. I think that would have been Herbie Farnworth if he didn't get injured.
Yeah, I think so.
Ethan Strange was 5'8". Nathan Cleary was halfback. Adam Fanua-Brake and Payne Haas were props. Elise Katoa and Hudson Young were second rowers. And then the Warriors, Aaron Clark was lock.
Glad,
which I think I was very happy with that. So, yeah, I don't think there was too much controversy. I think Rocky was the only one. But any other thoughts on that before we jump into the ladies?
Only thing controversial for me is that Aaron Clark didn't win our player of the year. Nothing to do with Dallas.
Yeah, I still think that was the bad call, but it is what it is. Dally M's for the women. Tamika Upton got the Dally M nod. No surprises there. Isabel Kelly got the Spirit of the Game award. Shalom Sayaso got Rookie of the Year. I think she was Broncos. Isabel Kelly got Captain of the Year. John Strange got Coach of the Year. It was a very Roosters heavy night, the Dally M's. Tamika Upton got the top try scorer. Romy Tetzel got top point scorer. Rihanna Vyers got the Veronica White medal. Indy Bostock got try of the year. And then Avayana Lauatiti from the Warriors got tackle of the year.
Oh, it was a beauty.
It was a beauty tackle. Then team of the year, Tamika Upton was fullback. Wingers were Sheridan Gallagher and the Warriors, Peyton Takamoana. Centres, Julia Robinson, Isabel Kelly. 5'8" was the new Warrior to be, Gail Broughton. Halfback was Jessie Southwell. Props were Ali Johnston and Jessica Elliston. Second rowers were Romy Tetzel and Yasmin Clydesdale. And then lock was Olivia Koenig.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was anything anything to argue there. I was really happy Peyton got there. I thought they might have skipped her out.
She was fantastic.
So I was very happy there. And then we'll go into signings, mate. Bulldogs extended Stephen Crichton until the end of 2031. We talked about that a while ago. It's actually now official, so great deal for the Doggies. Jacob Host signed a 2-year deal to join St. Helens, and the Catalan Dragons announced the signing of Lewis Dodd after he was released early from the Rabbits. That was all we had for the men. Then the women, the Warriors hit us with a couple, mate. It was already announced. It was announced a while ago, and we announced it as fact. So maybe it wasn't official yet, but they've announced Gail Broughton on a 2-year deal. So great after she just won the grand final with the Broncos and got, as I just said, 5'8" of the year in the Dally M's. And then today, mate, they also announced the signing of Broncos centre Millie Hafanga on a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option. As I was saying to you and Ruin Hammer when you brought it up today, it said when I was watching the GF, I was saying to my missus, man, I wish she would come home. But I even said I think she's just enjoying life in Brisbane, so maybe it's out of the question. I did hear rumours during the weekend after the grand final that she was coming to the Warriors, but I was like, no, I'll wait. I'll believe it when I see it. So I'm very happy with that. Just those two alone add a lot of oomph to this Warriors team for next year.
Oh yeah, especially when you combine with the one who's extended.
Yeah, Patricia Malepo is extended till the end of 26 with an option for 27. So great to see her.
She was a gun in her first year, so I think her and Broughton in the halves is off the charts good.
Yeah, and Millie out there, Peyton still where she can follow through what she did this year. There's a lot of attack out there. It's looking good. My prediction of them winning the comp this year may have been a year too early. But it's also good to see. I know there was a lot of complaints that the Broncos and Roosters just keep compiling all the talent. So it's good to see we've stolen some from the Brisbane team to try to help level the field a bit. But I think they've just signed Jesse Southwell, so they've strengthened the strength of themselves anyway. But any other news on that, or you're happy enough with those signings?
Yeah,
that's only 2. What did they say? They had 4.
Yeah.
So we've got another 2 to come. So very happy with that. Injuries, there weren't really too many because everyone's kind of done for the year by internationals. But Adam Reynolds did his calf during the grand final. Should be fine for 2026. Ben Hunt failed his HIA. He'll be fine. Jack Howarth had a groin injury. He was going for scans. I haven't seen an update on that yet, but it doesn't seem like it'll be anything that will put him out of the beginning of next year. And Alec McDonald from the Storm, he hit his elbow. Be fine for round 1, so that'll be okay. And then James Tedesco, he is undergoing stem cell surgery on his knee and will spend 8 to 10 weeks in recovery. So he'll be fine for next year, but I'd probably that might have been the excuse he should have used for not playing for the Kangaroos instead of being best man at a wedding. If he's saying he's going in for knee surgery, I don't think Peter V'landys would have been harassing him as much. And before we move on, Jacko said Hafunga's stats for GF were almost unbelievable and outstanding. Yeah, except I don't think she scored that final try. But
you don't think so?
Yeah, but I had money on the Roosters, so I'm biased.
Was it? Is it in the books? If it's in the books, she scored it. End of story.
Let's just say if she does that same try next year, it will be given no try.
I've got no doubt about that.
But yeah, she basically a bit like one of the players in the boys team just took that game by the scruff of the neck and took over. She was just a monster at the end there when they needed her at most. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that in Warriors colours. Naughty boys, Trent Liero from the Storm, he had a grade 2 careless high tackle, 2-match ban for. I assume they're going to say he's going to be allowed to use his preseason games next year for it and be fine for round 1, but we'll see. And then Reece Walsh, he had a grade 1 careless high tackle. He got a $3,000 fine because they need him in England.
I don't think he cares.
No. So yeah, then this is where I put the games, mate. So yeah, the NRL State Championship, we've already talked about it. 50-20 win for the Warriors over the Bears.
Yeah, I can read through all the try scorers. Good
list. If you want.
Yeah. 9 tries to 4. Ali Leotawa, Setu 2, had 2. Tanner Boyd, Tane Tuapiki, Freddie Backfence, Freddie Lussick had 1. Luke Hansen with a couple, and Tane Tuapiki. For the Bears, Cole Geyer, Ewan Moore, Josh Rogers, and Mitch Watson. It was 32-6 at half time. And then we went on.
Yeah, it was over at half time. I thought it was another great game. Tanner Boyd, I thought was going well. Jacko said, is Setu leaving? Yeah, they said something in the game that he is off to I can't remember where he's going. He is going somewhere, and the reason he came back this year, because he comes and goes from the Warriors, but the club he was playing for was a feeder club with the Storm. And then the Storm disestablished their connection with it. So they basically kicked all the players out that were affiliated. So that's why he came home. But yeah, apparently he's got a deal locked up somewhere, which is a shame because he showed his talent again. But as long as they keep Sio Kali, I think we'll be okay.
C2 was massive in the final series.
Oh, yeah. And even in this game, he had 2 tries and 2 disallowed. So, So I couldn't remember who they were where they were saying he's going. I did want Gus Gould off the commentary because every player that was playing well for the Warriors, he was saying about how great they would be if a team picks them up and trying to get them out of the Warriors. It's like the Perth Bears could do with him and all that. And it's like, no, leave them all alone. But yeah, I was very happy. Great way for them to end the year and give us something, a little something to go into the off season happy about.
Happy for Big Bunty.
Yeah, exactly. I was very happy to see him go. Still no word on where he's going. So hopefully we get some news for him. You wouldn't want to go too far into the off season.
Tomala, another one.
Yeah,
not quite
and
Bunty, but
yeah.
good to see him out of that.
Yeah, so great way to end the year. We'll go on to the next one. We don't review it too much, but the NRLW Grand Final, Broncos defeated the Roosters 22-18. Roosters did a Patriots, mate. They went through the regular season undefeated, then lost in the one that counts.
Yeah. And the Broncos started so fast, hey? Got up to 12-0 real quick, and the Roosters stormed back. It looked like they were going to salvage it, but yeah, like you were saying earlier, mate, Meli Hafanga. There were a few that stood. I thought Gail Broughton was outstanding throughout the whole game. Meli stood up at the end. The two players coming our way, they were big in the grand final. Tamika's always good, so I thought it was massive to get one over. Yeah, massive to get one over an undefeated team.
Yeah, but yeah, thoroughly impressed by their effort. I thought it was all over at halftime, and then the Roosters started coming back. I was like, oh no, the Roosters are just going to steal this now. And then that try to Millie at the end, I was like, they've done enough here. And as Jagger said, the Chookies girls weren't happy at the game's end. Yeah, got into a bit of biffo. Which was good to see. Apparently, I didn't get the things. Apparently, there are going to be some suspensions, apparently, for the thing, which I think is a bit rough. There was no, fist throwing. It was a bit of push and shove. But,
I think there were definitely some words yelled from Broncos player. Gail Broughton was a bit of an antagonist there.
But, yeah, it was a thoroughly entertaining final, which I could say for all three games, which isn't that common normally, which takes us into the main event, mate. The Broncos defeating the Storm 26-22.
Wow, yeah. My worst nightmare, mate. Being true. 5 tries to 4 for the Broncos. Dean Mariner had 2. Reece Walsh, wow. Great try. Shibasaki, he had 2. What a season for him. Storm, 4 tries. Nick Meaney, Ali Katoa, Will Warbrick, Jerome Hughes. Yeah. Yours, Brad.
Yeah, Broncos started the match with a hiss and a roar, but looked in trouble at the break with the Storm getting a slight edge. But they took control in the second half with Reece Walsh putting on a show with some great attacking plays and some hardy defense, which is always my criticism of him. But he had put in some solid defensive efforts that allowed the Broncos to keep control. Both halves, but it didn't it didn't slow them down. I think when Reynolds went off and then Hunt went off, I was like, here we go, Storm going to get this. But no, massive efforts all across the park. Every outside back cracked 100 meters, and 4 of the pack did as well. Not the team I picked or wanted to win this match, but it's hard to argue that it wasn't well deserved.
Yeah, I don't like them, but here's where I give them their credit. They did what they've done the whole final series. They've not been great starters, but they're resilient. They hang in there, then they strike back, and they've got the Clive Churchill winner who he's just stood up and he doesn't need 80 minutes. He turns it on and he'll blitz you, and he did it again. That try, that's one of the great individual grand final tries. I was tongue in cheek messaging all my Warriors mates saying there's no Stacey Jones 02, but it probably was. And like Shibasaki, he was picked out of nowhere, so that's a massive coaching success from Madge. This Shibasaki's come back from, I think, Japanese rugby, and he wasn't wanted in NRL, and then he's come back and made Origin, and now scored a double in the grand final. Like you said, they lost both their halves, but I kind of got the feeling that this is just Reece Walsh will just step up anyway.
Which is what he did. And I think what you said there, I can't remember the official stat, but it was almost every finals game they were trailing by double digits at some point and managed to win them all. Incredible resilience from the team. Your thoughts on the Storm?
I thought they were very good in the first half, and I know we were messaging saying, it was about Ali Katoa, like, let's send him out with a ring. Let's get him a ring, and he might get a Clive while he's at it. He's playing that well. Scored a try. He was throwing bullet cutout balls that were hitting the mark, and he's just playing like a beast. I don't know what happened at halftime, but in my opinion, the turning point was Tui Kamikamica had a opportunity to ground the ball, score a try, and I get the feeling that would have been game done and dusted if he scored that. Because I think no more than 2 minutes after that, Broncos are up the other end of the field and score. It was a true 12-point swing, I was just so gutted that he didn't ground it. But credit to the Broncos, they took advantage of it. But the Storm just seemed to go into a hole after that, and not that they weren't trying hard. Pappenhausen was making breaks, but they'd make breaks and then throw a pass that wouldn't hit hands. They'd come up with a mistake on the end of it, and they just couldn't find the mark.
Yeah, they had some early wobbles, but the Storm did look to be in the driver's seat after a few nice tries to hold it decently going into the break, and looked to get right back to work, as you said, with Tui's try at the beginning of the second, but it was rightly disallowed. And full credit to Tui as a prop for claiming that he scored it when he knew in his heart he didn't score that. That's great prop mentality there. And from that moment on, as you said, that was the turning point, and the Storm just continued to dig themselves a hole. They struggled to contain the Broncos once the Broncos hit their second wind, and they couldn't string any attacking phases together, making just uncharacteristic errors. It happened a lot. We'll probably say it so many times. Pappenhausen made a break. It was on first tackle. He made a break, and he tried to do like a little flick pass when he should have just held on to it, take a breath, use that to his advantage, but he tried to score now rather than, build, and then that was like an ongoing theme later on as well. They were still in the hunt right to the end, that another Pappenhausen break at the death where it could have worked, but it was just another Walsh managing to somehow mark Pappenhausen and still tackle the guy he was passing to in a 2-on-1 situation. Disappointing way for them to go out, I guess. And they'll be looking to right the wrong in 26. But definitely deserve to lose this one with how they played in that second half. They were just shockingly bad. With no one to blame but themselves. There was no controversial reffing calls. There was no key players injured during the game for them. And in fact, I guess you could say, look, they lost Jock Howarth early and had to have Wishart in the centres. That probably didn't help them.
I think that definitely hurt them. That reshuffle. As good as Wishart is at plugging holes, the centres is a pretty tough one to plug. That's a pretty specialist position.
He's not a 70-minute centre, that's for sure.
No,
but, Unfortunately for you, mate, the better team won on the day. Which makes that the official last game of the season, mate, with internationals coming. And I was wrong last week. I said just look at the tipping comp one last time. It was second to last, mate, because we got one last time. I forgot we had to pick the grand final.
I would have picked Storm
which
anyway.
I did pick it, even though I got 0. We've got it here. There was only 2 people that picked this. Evelyn and the boy from SMB were the ones that picked the Broncos. Everyone else picked the Storm or didn't pick at all. I can't say, but then we have the Yerk and Bjorn tied at first. The Yerk winning on points differential, Bjorn second, and then MB Sportsman third. Also on points differential because Evelyn and Princess Cahill both on the same amount of points. Simon, you ended up at 6th. I ended up 9th I was only a couple out, and then that bloody game got me again. And then I think all that anyone cares about here is your son beat you.
Yeah.
He ended up on 11th after dominating us for so long at the beginning, and you ended 12th.
We're on the same points, really,
Differential, man.
Yeah.
Still counts.
It does. It does.
He's going to be stoked. I've been
Harry Poppins is also on the same points as well.
Yeah.
So 4 of you, because with Roscoe 6-1-1-1. So yeah, four you end up after the whole season on the same points.
Be like next year.
Yeah. And so I'm going to win it next year. I'm going to be serious about it.
Me too.
So yeah. So that's the last one. The tipping comps.
You didn't do player of the final each.
Did we have to? Who was your player, mate? It was Reece Walsh.
Sorry,
yeah.
You just went with fantasy then. 105. That's a massive score. We had a big game.
There were many great players in the game, but I think he influenced it the most.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think I said, I said at work, someone asked, did you watch it? Of course I watched it. And they're like, how's that Reece Walsh? And my exact words were, I can't stand the prick, but goddamn, he was good. Personal feelings aside, you can't question how well he was in that game. It's what you can do. I'm still waiting for the other side of the coin because we're used to it. He'll play like this, and then the next game he might be really shit. But I was saying that every week in the finals, and it just never came.
Never came.
So credit where credit's due. Questions. I'll go with my one first. Unless Paul, have you got any, Paul?
Nothing from the live chat.
With the premiership in the cabinet and the ongoing injuries, if you were Adam Reynolds, would you hang up the boots now, keep going in 26?
If it were me, I'd hang up the boots and go out like that. Nothing more to prove, and your body's just breaking down more often. More often nowadays. He picks up a lot of injuries, so I'd consider that and go out with a ring on my finger.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. In that situation, I would. You can't get much better than winning a premiership. The way he's been injured lately, there is a chance Broncos could go and try to get 2 in a row next year, but you can't guarantee he's going to be able to last the whole year with how he is. So I think, rather leave on it when you've got that championship than hoping to get another one. But you can't. He's going to make that his own decision. So I assume he's wanting to stick around. But it is what it is. Your question to me, Matt.
I've given the Broncos enough credit. With the Panthers streak now done, do you think they're a spent force, or do they have a few years of title contention and or winning titles left in them?
I don't think they're a spent force, but they're not the only big dog in the park anymore. Like the last few years, it was always going to be, it's unless something really bad happens, the Panthers are winning. I think they're still going to be a contender. Like they're still going to be a prelim side, I think. But you're not automatically starting to etch their name on the trophy before the season starts. So I still think they have a chance to make a couple. I was just about to say what Jacko just said. As long as Panthers have Nathan Cleary, they're a threat.
And Ivan.
So I did see. Did you see the social media posts Cleary or Nathan put up?
I know the one you're referring to. Yeah, it was hilarious. The
Paul,
Ivan's favorite
you
son.
probably didn't see it. There was one. Yeah, there was a Ivan's favorite son picture, a
Son
wall,
of
and
the year.
it was every son of the year. Yeah, it was every grand final picture of Ivan and Nathan, and then in 2025, there's a picture of Jet Cleary with the trophy for the state championship, and Nathan said, "Congrats on your first ever son of the year." Or your favorite son, which I thought was funny. It's a good way to look at it, and what you'd be. It's good to see. You're disappointed you're not in the grand final, but you're also still proud of your little brother doing what he's doing. And like you saw, Dad Ivan was in there watching the state championship, where he would probably much rather be there for other reasons, but he was still there supporting his son. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
So we sign him for a training trial?
I don't know. I keep seeing. I haven't seen anything confirmed because he's already with us. But I think the training trials for top 30.
Yeah, yes,
He's not in top 30, so maybe they've pushed that forward. I want confirmation on that because I said on our Ruin Hammer predictions that by the end of the season he'd be in the top 30. So I want to get confirmation of that.
Oh, no, then that's not the case. No,
it's not the case. You're going to take that away from me. That's cool. But yeah, I think as long as they got the Clearys, I think they're always going to be in contention. Blaze Talangi, I think, was starting to really develop a bit better. So they'll be stronger. Yeah. And yeah, they're not losing as many outs as they normally do at the end of the year. So I think they'll still be fine. I'm not writing them in as minor premiers or anything. But yeah, I think there's still a shot. What about you? Are you rolling them out?
Oh no, definitely not. A couple of fine margins went their way in that prelim final, we could be putting their name on the trophy this year. You answered it pretty much what I was going to say in a way better way that I can say it. But they'll still be very strong. Wouldn't be surprised if they win another title or two in the next period of a few years, but they're not automatic anymore, which is great. And hopefully we become one of the big dogs over the next 3 to 5, hopefully next year, but over the next few years, we enter the conversation as well.
Yeah, and Jagger said Crosby were killing it for the Panthers in a season or two. Yeah, I still haven't seen official confirmation that he signed with them, but it's all pointing that way. So I was trying to think about it, why they let him go. And the only thing, I'm not in there, the only thing I can think of is maybe they didn't like his attitude or something. A bit like the Zion, they didn't like his attitude and they deemed him a lazy trainer, which is why they let him go. Coincidentally, it's the same reason. Yeah, the training side of it won't be Crosby.
No,
but potentially it could be an attitude thing. That's all just speculation on my part. I've heard nothing, but I was just trying to think.
Is insane, and he does jiu-jitsu at a very high level, and training hard definitely wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, and Jacko, I didn't say he's a lazy trainer. I said that's why they let Zion go. I mean attitude, but the attitude is the only thing I can think of because they. In the last two games, the grand final and the state championship, they elected to have Freddie Lussick as their bench prop instead of Crosby.
Yeah, which is crazy.
There has to be a reason, and it's not poor form. So there has to be something there. I don't know what it is, and I don't personally agree with it. I would be keeping him. But yeah, we will never know until he probably tells us later on when he signs back as $1 million player for the Warriors in like 5 years.
It is what it is, eh? I hope he does well, whatever he does.
Yeah, it'd be great to see him playing, around more. So yeah, it could be a massive missed opportunity by the Warriors, but it wouldn't be the first time, would it?
Definitely.
So yeah, and Jack, I said there's something as we're making a mistake. I wasn't meant to announce it yet, mate. They're signing me up as a prop. And we can't have two. We can't have two big dogs in the changing rooms.
That explains it.
Crosby had to go. He's going to teach me some training so I could at least try to look like an athlete at some point. They don't hire props that look like this anymore, Matt. Mark Tukey was the last of us. But we'll move into predictions. At the beginning of the year, we came in very confident in us knowing about rugby league.
As we
So
do
we
every
made,
year.
we made our normal. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, Jacob, but fair enough. We made a lot of predictions. We made a lot of fun of Paul about his lack of knowledge. Once again, for the second year in a row, I think he's actually beaten us in the predictions again. But first off, we had the 2025 leading try scorer. I picked Will Warbrick. You picked AKP, and Paul picked Dom Young.
That'll be next year. Oh,
yeah.
So looking at the list, I don't think any of our guys made the top 50.
They weren't. I was trying to see where they were. They weren't in the top 50 because I was going to put next to the names when I was updating the slides how many tries they scored. Then none of them were in the top 50. Will Warbrick, I picked the wrong side. I expect the Storm to do well, but Will Warbrick spent a lot of the year injured. So they were going to Coates. But even then, Coates wasn't close enough. So I don't think it would have happened. AKP went from scoring tries to not even being wanted at the worst team in the comp. And then Dom Young, he got fired from one team and went to another that wasn't doing well. So it didn't help him. Mark Nisa Wase.
Next season, what you do is let us predict you to score tries.
Yeah. We've got to pick the real threats. I'm going to pick Reece Walsh next year. And then see if that derails the season. But yeah, Mark Nawaka-Nisawase was the leading try scorer in his first year. So yeah, thoroughly deserved there. All three of us obviously got that wrong. Next one was leading point scorer, Paul.
So the guy who scored the most tries wasn't rookie of the year in his rookie year. Okay.
He's not allowed because he's been too experienced.
I'm just stirring or putting the knife in.
Here we go. We finally got a tick. Richie got one right. Leading point scorer. Paul and myself both picked Nick Meaney because I thought the Storm would do well and thought he'd goal kick. Pappenhausen spent most of the year goal kicking. And Jermaine Osako, which is always a safe bet because the Dolphins always score a lot of points, and he got it again. So congratulations, Richie. You got a prediction. I think, spoilers for later, I think we all get one prediction right here. So
yeah, I mean, on the Nick Meaney one, he came in 12th on the point scoring.
So there we go. Still in contention. If Pappenhausen didn't goal kick, would have been there.
Yeah, I mean, you got 132 compared to Jermaine's 278. Yeah, it wasn't even half.
But how many did Pappenhausen get though?
181.
Yeah, so you add those two together, Paul. It's just that would have been us. We would have been in.
Nice.
Next one was the 2025 minor premiers. Again, we all had a goosey egg here. We all got it wrong. Richie and myself picked the Storm. Paul picked the Roosters, which we laughed at you because the Roosters weren't even making finals, Paul, because they're rubbish.
Well, I mean, Canberra both got second, whereas I got 8th. So.
Yeah. Canberra Raiders, who I don't think any of us put in our top 10, they made it. They were minor premiers. Next one, I messaged you guys and you didn't come back to me because you're not nice people. Was signing of the year. There's not really a way to mark who the signing of the year is, but Richie and I picked Adam Fanua-Blake. Paul, you picked Ben Hunt. I think Adam did well.
See that Aaron Clark was probably the best signing, right?
Yeah. I was looking value-wise, I would say like Aaron Clark, Marky Mark, even if you want to count him as a signing this year. It was his first year.
Wow.
Or Taylor May. I thought all did well. Adam Fanua-Blake helped the Sharks, but they didn't get far. Ben Hunt won a grand final, but initially he doesn't remember it because he was knocked out. So I put a question mark instead of right or wrong and happy to give it a scratch unless Paul wants to fight. But yeah, Jacko said value for money, Clark by country mile. Yeah, I think Clark going from not really that wanted at the Titans to winning Dally M Lock of the Year is better than Ben Hunt watching his team win a grand final.
We could have asked 1,000 people, 1,000 rugby league fans at the start of the year. Not one of them would have said Aaron Clark. The fact that we're even suggesting him says how good a signing he was.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, Clark and Marky Mark, I think they're definitely better signings than anything we chose.
Yeah. Next one was the 2025 Wooden Spoon. And as is an ongoing theme, we all got it wrong. Richie was very, very close. I picked Dragons, as I do every year. I might have to change that next year because I don't think the Dragons will get the spoon. You picked the Titans and were just robbed. And then, Paul, you had no faith in the Tigers and were punished, rightly so.
I was. I mean, they relatively speaking, they had a great year. I think they got 24 points. So 3 wins clear of the Wooden Spoon. Whereas, let's be honest, the Titans only missed it on points difference. Because they were minus 199 compared to the Knights minus 300. Because
that was us. That was the Warriors helping Kieran Foran out in his final year by going, we'll give you a win. That was the difference. And then, the Knights got Wooden Spoon, obviously. So, I don't think any of us thought that would happen. Next one was the 2025 Grand Final. Yeah. This is the one I got right, so I'm happy. Grand Final, I predicted Storm Broncos. Richie, you picked Storm Sharks. And then, Paul, you picked Panthers Roosters.
Mine was a prelim.
I was going to say
yours was a prelim.
It's Richie got ruined by the fact that they played the weekend before.
Yeah. But so that's the only one I got right. So I don't want to too much. Dally M winner was next. I picked Jerome Hughes to go back to back. Richie picked Nathan Cleary, which was actually pretty close. And then Paul, you picked Ben Hunt, and it was obviously Teddy, as we mentioned earlier.
But Nathan Cleary was second with 45 points. If he actually played all the games in the season, he might get somewhere near it.
But if the Panthers decided to play in the first half of the year, he might have got there.
Maybe.
I can't rely on that. I'm never picking them again.
Nathan Cleary's never going to win one, mate. It just never seems to be in the cards. Next one is where Paul gets another one. He got this one right. First coach to be fired. I had to look into it. I took both Adam O'Brien and Des Hasler's announcements that they would not see out as they're firing for you both. So I was saying during the year, it doesn't count. I took it. Des Hasler was fired 3 days before Adam O'Brien.
Yes.
It was like the 25th of August and the 28th of August. So I picked no coach to get fired. Richie, you picked Adam O'Brien, and Paul, you picked Desi. So you won by 3 days.
I think this is the one I got last year as well. I think this is the one I can pick.
Yeah, both of us last year picked no coach to be fired because we didn't see it happening.
Oh, I was a whisker away from having 3 ticks.
Yeah, you're very close. I feel like I'm gonna have to put a coach next year. I can't go 3 years in a row saying no one. Jagger said O'Brien stood down. He wasn't fired. We can argue that as well. So we can argue that as well. But even though it doesn't change the result, Paul still gets the win. And then the last one is the top 8. So I couldn't. Normally, I'd put in what the actual 8 was, but I didn't have room. But as we normally do with this, a green tick means you picked a team in the right spot. A yellow tick means you picked a team that made the top 8. And then X obviously means your team didn't make the 8. So I had 5 out of 8 right.
Brad, who do you have in the right?
I've got the Knights. I got Knights. I thought the Knights were going to do okay.
Wooden Spoon. You couldn't score. You couldn't score points at the top league.
We all had teams like that. Richie had the Eels, and you had the Cowboys. Yeah. So I had the Storm, Broncos, Panthers, Sharks, Bulldogs all making the 8, which I got right, but I incorrectly said the Rabbits, the Seagulls, and the Knights would make it, and I got none in the right spot. Richie, you got 5 as well, so same as me, but you did get 1 in the right spot. You picked the Broncos to be 4th. Then you had Storm, Sharks, Panthers, and Bulldogs. You picked Manly, Rabbits, and Eels wrong. So we were very similar, except swapped Eels and Knights. And then Paul, you got 6 out of the 8, and you got 1 in the right spot. You also picked Broncos for 4th, but you had Roosters, Panthers, Storm, Sharks, Bulldogs. And
not a Raider or a Warrior tip in sight.
No, we had no faith in the Warriors or the Raiders. For a second year in a row, Paul, you you beat us, but it's still nothing to be proud of because we were very low percentages on this. Hey, come on, you got like 3 right out of all our options. That's not even passing school C.
But yeah, that's as I said, that's that old fellow who moved from the Dolphins and made the Roosters a great team.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you that you completely got the wrong team there because it actually helped you out.
It did, in the end. It did, yes.
Yeah, you'll have to remember that Wayne Bennett is coaching the Rabbits.
Well, there's no point remembering that because they didn't do very well this year.
No, but they might do better next year. We'll see how wrong we get it in a couple of months when we're back for 2026. But yeah, so that was it for the predictions. But next week's show, with no league to review, it's going to be our standoff awards, giving out the awards we do, like Player of the Year, Story of the Year, Worst Haircut, Biggest Blunder, and the Viewers Moment of the Year. So if you let us know what you think your moment of 2025 was, whatever thing gets the most mentions, we'll make an award for that. I think last year it was Chanel Harris-Tavita smiling after finally managing to kick a conversion as the Viewers Moment. But I gave Richard the massive list of all the awards that he's going to hopefully give me in a nice enough time so I can get all the pictures done. But yeah, we'll still cover the news and everything. We'll talk about the international teams, do the awards, and then we'll preview the upcoming international games, which start next weekend. Anyone that's in Auckland, Sean Johnson's book is out, and next weekend or the weekend after, I think it's the 18th, that's when the Warriors are when the Kiwis are playing Tonga, I think. He is traveling around Auckland doing book signings. So if you're interested in the book and you're in Auckland and want to get it signed, go have a look. I'm thinking of going. I think he's there at 1 o'clock in Howick. So I think I'm going to go out to there and buy his book and get it signed.
Nice.
So yeah, forgot to mention that in the news, but it popped up. But that's it. It's another sub-hour show, mate. Anything else you guys want to add?
Happy, man.
You happy?
Not happy about the grand final, but I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all right. Next year's our year, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on Standoff with Brad and Richie. For your weekly update on Rugby League, tune into our show next Wednesday at 8 p.m. here on Facebook or YouTube, or at your convenience on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Just remember to search for New Zealand Sport Radio. Thanks again for joining us, and good night, everyone.